Hi, welcome to my channel.
Intro done. Welcome back to my channel. So we're live from Eloise, and today is the Q&A. Thanks everyone for your questions, had a nice good range, and yeah, I hope you find it interesting. And obviously if you have any other questions, you just have to whack them in the comments below and I'll answer them either in another video or I'll just reply. Let's get started. What is your favourite discipline and why? Are cyclists just lazy triathletes? Well, yeah, they are. Nothing like Sam likes more than a moan after his long ride when I still have to go do a run. So yeah, they are. But yeah, I'd say my favourite discipline, not swimming, not gonna lie, no offence to swimming, but not happening. Well, I was a runner, so if I'm feeling good running, but yeah, so I'll say running. But at the moment I quite like cycling. Yeah. So yeah, terrible answer to the question. We're moving on swiftly. Thoughts on carbon shoes and how often do you use them? Carbon shoes, they are fast and they do help racing. However, I don't necessarily think they're for everyone. If you have a lot of like an injury history, you might want to be careful because they change the load pattern. The load is more, I guess, fired upwards, so you get a lot on your feet and a lot on your hips, and that's why actually you don't want to use them that much. You want to keep them for racing. And one thing I was very wary of coming back from my hip injuries and the fact that I have quite weak hips is to not overuse them and make sure that I'm running correctly before I put them in. So yeah, but yeah, they are faster, definitely. How often do I use them? At the moment I'm not using them at all just because I'm not prepping for a race, but probably about 4 to 6 weeks before my first race, I'll start putting once a week, but they'll only be for my race specific running. So I wouldn't do easy run in them, there's no point. I won't correct loading patterns for that. It'd be more for like threshold runs or very race specific quality. How high is the right saddle height? 70.5 personally. No, everyone's different. Yeah, it's been a funny debate recently about doing my TT bike. Everyone says it needs to be higher, but actually I get terrible hamstring pain, actual pain. So we're saying 70.5. Very comfortable, power's the same. So let's go with that. Right, this one came up a lot. What are your plans for 2023? Racing and camps-wise. So racing, I have yet to solidify top plans. But I'm going to be racing in Portugal. It's like a 111k race. So it's 100k bike, 1k swim, 10k run, or 1k swim, 100k bike, 10k run. It's just like a season open. There's a few pros there. It's quite relaxed. Just want to put everything together. We've obviously changed up a lot this year with my new coaching plan, and also just want to make sure everything's sort of working well and with the new bike, getting used to it, and just do a bit of race for confidence and see where I'm at. Then the might race Gran Canaria or 7.3 Marbella. Actually discuss with my coach what I'm doing. But then I'll definitely be going on to do the Feldland triathlon on the 28th of May. So that'll be exciting. It's a great race in Austria. And I'm looking forward to it. It looks quite fast and quite fun. There are PTA points available. So that'd be good. And then after that, we're going to see. Like I do want to try and target qualifying 7.3 Worlds. And then I do want to target 7.3 European Championships. Bit of points really for PTO, but also I really want to challenge myself against the best in the world. That's the only way you can improve and really see where your weaknesses are. I have a lot of weaknesses, but as long as I have my best day and not what happened last year at World Champs, it's easy to then really quantify and then step back. What do we actually need to invest in for the next year or the next few months? So that'd be cool. Training camps wise, obviously I'm Eloise at the moment, here till next Friday, so the 24th. And then, I'm not really sure, probably do a bit of Mallorca around Portugal triathlon, and then probably stay at home because we'll be racing, so a bit more travel racing, got to be around to look after Ralphie the cat. And then probably do a few weeks in Switzerland, because why not? I love the mountains in the summer. And then probably have no money left, so do nothing. When are you doing an Ironman? That is a great question. When I do an Ironman, when I actually do one. Obviously, ultimately Ironman is my goal. like I love racing, I love preparing for racing, so if you can race for longer, it's like a no-brainer to me. However, I also am very conscious that I need to be able to learn to race 70.3 properly and not be injured before I add on the extra load of Ironman training, and also mental for the race. I think I've said it before in my videos, I haven't really had a good race 70.3 as a pro. Don't think I'm close to my potential in racing for 70.3, so I really want to explore that before I step up. And I know it doesn't necessarily matter now. People transcend distances, however, especially for my injury history, especially for, I guess, just how I operate, especially mentally. I want to make sure that I'm at least performing at 70.3 consistently before I consider switching things up a bit and going longer. Watch this space. Could be here for a few years. Then why is the Apple Land such an amazing race? Well, I've never done it before, but I've heard very good things, and as I said, I'm doing it this year on the 28th of May. Yeah, it just looks great. The course is fast, it's a bit different, it's in a really beautiful part of Austria, and there are PTP points available, so it looks like a no-brainer, and the backpack's a bright pink, so I've got to go do it. But no, it'll be fun. I've got a few friends doing it as well, so it'll just be a great weekend and competitive race, honest, middle distance. What else can you want? Right. Now, turning pro and going full time, how has it been so far? And is the lifestyle as you imagined, or is it totally different? That's quite a big question. So I turned pro, I think, as you all know, I've said a few times, technically I turned pro in 2015, but I didn't, got my card. Then I got injured, had to blah, 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 blah. Turned pro again in 2018. So I've sort of been pro since then, again, amongst injuries whatsoever. But I would say I didn't properly turn full time and since August 2020. I still had part-time work from January 21 to August 22. So since August 22, it's sort of what I expected in terms of, you do have more time to recover, you do feel fresher, and mentally I'm much more focused on my training, and I have more time to really focus on what my body needs versus running to a call, running to whatever else I have to do, or being stressed that you have to fill in X amount of work, obviously, because you're paid to do it before a session or after session. So in terms of that, that's really what I expected, and I have been, I guess, more relaxed in a sense. So the other side of things, sometimes I lack a bit of structure. When I've got a really full day, like swim, bike, run, and then gym, it's easy for me to be structured because you have to be, because you've got so many hours to fit in. But like, for example, an easier day, I actually sort of struggle with that. It's sort of, there's no need to do anything, and then you're like, get to the end of the day and I still need to get a swim in a gym in. No, I'll do it whenever. So some things like that I do technically struggle with a bit. It's sort of things you have to do versus, to sort of make a bit more of a routine, but I get it done, it works well. Anything else? It's just life really. There's nothing glamorous about it. I love it. I feel really, really grateful to be able to do this. But it comes with its, like all jobs, it comes with its admin, it comes with the things you have to do, and especially as you technically work for yourself, there's a lot of internal pressure to get it right and do it right, and there's always something else you could do, whether that is sit on the sofa for a bit longer or do a bit more foam rolling because your butt's a bit tight, things like that. So but it is going well. Is it sort of what I expected? Catches me out a bit, but we're learning process. It's been 6 months, maybe? Yeah. So we're going there. How do you manage the fatigue which comes from the high training volume? Now that is a great question, because some days better than others and some weeks better than others. Especially when I changed onto the new plan with Patrick, I did find it quite overwhelming. It was very different, and I have upped hours a bit, between 5 and 10 hours more. No, maybe not that. 5 and 8 hours more. But actually, I felt like because it's much harder days and much easier days, I actually get more recovery, and for that is the main recovery and preparing yourself for the next training session is the best way to manage that fatigue. I've definitely also upped my carbohydrates and what I eat between sessions. And even on an easy day like today, I actually had much bigger meals than I necessarily would because I'm out thinking ahead. I've got another week on camp. I also was ill last week. I need to make sure that I fill in those gaps. So that's two big things. I'm resting when I need to and not running around. Like, I don't really do anything else apart from training. I might move a little bit, but I'm not going on compulsive walks because it doesn't really help me. It doesn't really, not really conducive to my end goal, which is saving energy for the next session. So recovery and then nutrition are the main ways I manage fatigue. And also one thing that took me ages to be good at, or be better at, I think, we're always learning, is be honest with yourself. I used to think I was being weak for being tired or questioning whether I could or couldn't do that. But we're only human, sometimes it does become too much. And yes, you have to try, like I always try a session. But if it doesn't work out, it's okay. But sometimes it's better to pull the plug on it early than just get yourself into a hole. And be honest with your coach. Be really honest. That's something I started my beginning of my professional career. I wasn't honest because I thought he'd think I was weak or she would think I was weak. But actually, they can only coach you if you give them all the information, and that means all the information. Probably sometimes I give too much now, but oh well. But like, for example, like last week when I was feeling very well, like I was very honest. Like I felt super emotional, I feel weak, and we trained for probably a bit longer than we should have, but we both, my coach and I, were trying to work out what it was, and until it was very obvious that I was actually ill. And that probably was always underlying a bit, and then it was, right, we're going to rest. Pretty much took 5 days off. I did a bit of training, but not much. Prioritised the rest until I felt like I could do something. So it's just being really intuitive and also knowing there's not one session that's ever going to make you, but there's actually one session that could break you. Just being really thoughtful about how you manage fatigue and being honest with yourself. And also, different people manage fatigue very differently. Some people can tolerate much higher volumes. Like, I'm never going to be a 45-hour week person. But it's about bumping up your threshold and then managing within that. So I'm not sure I answered the question, but I tried. Can you talk about how you fund all your activities since leaving work? That is a great idea, and it's consciously on my, great question, and it's consciously on my mind. Essentially, I didn't leave work until I knew I'd saved enough. It was always the back of my mind since I first turned pro in 2018. I was full-time, and then I went back to work in 2017 at Swift. That's when I started with social media. If I want to go full-time, again, I have to have some savings. Like, I have to be able to bolster myself for at least a year, or it's not possible. Like, triathlon is an expensive sport, especially when you're a low-ranked pro and you don't have 100k contracts or PTO paying you a lot of money. So essentially I left work with a nice buffer of savings that I knew I could hopefully get through this year. It's going down faster than I expected, but it's working. So that's how I'm funding at the moment, is on savings, and also making decisions on what is essential, so we pay, and what is nice to have. If it's nice to have, I wouldn't waste that money on it. Okay, yes, you could say a camp is nice to have, not essential, but my coach is going to be here next week. I think one-to-one time or groups or one time, whatever it is super important. And also, it is easier to get in the miles abroad. Like the UK, training in the UK, I really struggle with, especially in the winter. Like I do mentally struggle with training. So it sort of has definitely helped being away and just sort of things. One thing I do have two quite small clients on the side. It's very much pocket money, so money doesn't come out of this part, but it covers things like my coaching costs and like day-to-day expenses. For example, I want to keep the savings for like the travel, for the racing, and time opportunities that I can get paid back as well. So going to races, to one, knowing that I need to earn some money, and two, taking a few risks as well. So that's how I'm funding this year. The goal is, at the moment, I'm looking for sponsorship. Obviously, that is always the goal. Talking with a few people about how this is possible, or what's the timeline on this with some partners. But the end goal is to obviously get some security through payment through sponsors, and then also obviously win earnings, which is obviously the aim as I hopefully improve, is to win some money. So that's how I'm funding at the moment. But money is always also quite a weird thing to talk about, but also it does provide me a lot of anxiety about how long will it last. And how long I can do this for from a financial standpoint, because money doesn't grow on trees. I wish. Now we're on to great question. What is your motivation? It's a very good question. I'm a highly, I guess you say one is, as a real catchphrase, I'm a highly motivated athlete. But I generally am very motivated, and I generally enjoy training. Obviously, some days you don't want to go to work. Some days can't be asked, but I get it done because I know what I want in terms of the end goal and my more intrinsic motivation. Yes, okay, I'm motivated by the extrinsic stuff. I want to be as good as I can be. I want to win some titles. Of course I want that. But my bigger why and bigger motivation is I want to be at a point in my career where I feel I'm credible enough that my younger self would have listened to me. I made some terrible choices when I was younger. I thought I had to be X to be an athlete. Suffered, I guess, quite a few mental health illnesses, physical consequences of that, and I pretty much don't want anyone else to go through what I went through with the honest, naive motivation of just wanting to be better and wanting to perform. So that's my inner motivation. Is to be credible enough that I guess younger me listened or would listen. I wouldn't just think, well, she didn't make it, so why would I listen to her? So so that's that. As I said, I didn't have problems getting out the door, especially when it's sunny. This is a good one. Is there any demons you're fighting in the sport? And when I first read this, I will admit I thought it was like rivals. I didn't have any rivals, but no, demons. Yes. Well, I think a lot of us would admit that I lack a lot of self-confidence. Speak to someone today about my swimming in my head. I used to be a terrible swimmer. I've improved a lot since those days. Yes, it's been 10 years. But in my head, I'm I'm the worst swimmer in the world. Well, you're not. You've changed. Things have changed, and not getting caught up in your old story. And I do, as I said, I suffer self-confidence. I often, some start lines, I don't believe I should be there. And actually, I need to change that. I need to be deserving. I have put some races together which show that I'm good enough. I have beaten people before. It's possible. I just need that confidence. And I think this year, that's one focus I want to go on, is building my internal confidence. Yes, I don't want to be cocky, but I want to feel like I deserve to be on that start line. Even though the facts say you've met the criteria multiple times, you've, as I said, beaten people, had great races, earned some money, you're a professional athlete essentially. But I guess it's just confidence. You need to work on that. And then other demons, I'm trying to think. There's loads of things in my closet. I think that's my main one, confidence. And feeling comfortable also in your own skin. That's sort of one thing that I think I've got it, and I'm okay with being me. And if someone doesn't like me, someone doesn't like me. If someone wants to follow me, they can follow me. If someone unfollows me, they can unfollow me. I'm okay with that. And that's actually helped me be a much better athlete, just focusing on myself. Of course, you get caught up in comparison. I think everyone does, especially when last week when I wasn't feeling great. But everyone's doing so much training. Or someone says got a new power PB. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You're not racing. Go race them in 3 months. No one cares. And actually someone said to me as well, I was like, oh God, I'm not doing anything. Do you think this amount of time will go off? A good friend. And he was like, the thing is, it's not about how much training you can fit in, or not about feeling better in training. It's about performing on race day when it counts, and being the best at performing on race day when it counts. And I was like, yeah, that's true. Okay, cool. I calmed down. But I guess we all have demons. We all have weaknesses, and we all are subconscious, whether we admit it or not. Maybe some people aren't. But hey, I am. So there we go. So that is the majority of the questions. Now it's fun. Will you be my Valentine? Sorry, already taken. Samuel. Oh, yeah, fine. Who is the best cat dad? Obviously asked by Samuel. And possibly Samuel. Who would win a race? Elo or cow on a TT bike? Well, it would be a close one. But cows can't swim. So I'd say Elo. I'd have to fight for it. How did you get a dent in your Tesla? Sam hates me. Essentially, Tesla, well, problems. It's like an up-down thing to reverse drive, and I got really cross with it because someone was pressurising me because they wanted to go into the next gap next to me, and I put it in reverse, not drive forward, and went into a lamppost. The auto stop did not work in my defence, and I don't know why. Yeah, that's how I got it. Donuts or croissants? Croissant. It depends, to be honest. A donut every other stop. The average donut is better than your average croissant because you need to know where to get a croissant, and especially if it's an almond croissant. I'll say donut for the generic donut, but a French croissant or almond croissant from the right places, parfait. Oh, you can't get better than that. A bit of Nutella in it. Some confiture, a bit of jam. Oh, so good, so good. So yeah, depends where you are. Coffee or tea? Obviously coffee. Tea sucks. I literally can't drink tea apart from rooibos with no milk, obviously. Would you rather swim in a cold lake or run in 25 degrees? How long are we swimming for? Possibly swim. I suck in heat. If I'd done my 2 weeks heat prep, maybe run in 25 degrees for 5 minutes or something. Or cold swim for 5 minutes. Probably cold swim. That's not mine. How often do friends tell you you're an idiot? Often. Yeah. What hurts today? Nothing hurt today, actually. I'm trying to think when I was swimming. No, actually, my calf was a bit tight in the gym today. Right calf. Favourite Haribo? Oh, that's a new one. Someone who added that recently. The red laces with the white stuff in the middle. Yeah, I'm not actually much of a big sweets eater. Sam got me sweets. Apart from Pespace. Can eat a lot of Pespace. But like the lacy thing. And yeah, that's it. But yeah, so yeah, this is quite a long one, but I think we answered all your questions. Thanks again for asking them. And yeah, if you have any other questions, obviously just hit me in the comments. I'll be sure to reply, and I will dive deeper into some of these questions videos. Like, I know the finances one has been asked before, and that definitely will be a video. And then we'll go from there. But yeah, if you like what you see, give me a big thumbs up, subscribe if you want to see more, and yeah, see you guys soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.